88.7 Shining Supreme.
88.7 FM.
Yeah.
At 88.7 FM.
Diamond FM, your one-stop dial.
From the news desk of Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin, this is News in the Hour.
In the headlines, tax returns, Oyedele urges Nigerians to meet January 31st, March 31st deadlines. IPOB lawyer Ejiofor urges Southeasterners to ignore February 2nd lockdown order. Police crack down on illegal transnational human trafficking syndicate, rescue 14 victims in Ondo. Court of Appeal upholds death sentence on 5 of our bank robbery convicts. On the foreign scene, Guinea-Bissau's opposition leader released from jail after months behind bars. And in sports news, NPFL banishes shooting stars from Ibadan over poor playing surface. A very wonderful afternoon to you, and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. This is News on the Hour. I am Nedu Okorie. We bring you details of the news after this break. Do stay with us.
See, Weto is from our tribe, and we have the same religion. So we have to protect our own. Our tribe isn't corrupt. I beg you, leave them now, our Peking.
Wait, stop and think. Do you realize that the impact of corruption and careless decisions by that clansman or family member of yours doesn't know tribalism or nepotism? Let's hold everyone accountable for a better society and country. If you see something, say something to the right authorities.
This message is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin.
And you're welcome back from that short break. Please do note that you can listen to us via our website on www.diamondfm.net. You can also watch us live on YouTube, Diamond FM Ilorin. Now the news in detail. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, has called on Nigerians to ensure timely submission of their annual tax returns, stressing that compliance with statutory deadlines is mandatory for both employers and individual taxpayers. He reminded employers that tax returns must be filed by January 31, while individuals are required to submit theirs on or before March 31st. Oyedele made the call during a webinar organized for human resource managers, payroll officers, chief financial officers, and tax managers in partnership with the Joint Revenue Board. The session focused on strengthening compliance and improving understanding of tax obligations among corporate and individual taxpayers. Speaking during the webinar shared on YouTube on Friday, Oyedele noted that a large number of Nigerians are yet to file their self-assessment tax returns despite legal requirements. He stressed that individual taxpayers also bear direct responsibility for filing their returns, warning that improved compliance is critical to ongoing fiscal and tax reform efforts. Human rights lawyer and lead counsel to the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, has urged Southeasterners to completely ignore the lockdown order issued by the publicity secretary of the group, Imma Powerful. Powerful had issued a statement saying that the entire Southeast would be locked down on Monday, February 2nd, 2026. in solidarity with traders in Onitsha Main Market, whose shops were closed by Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo for their continuous observance of sit-at-home order. But in what seems to be a disagreement between the leadership of IPOB, the counsel to the group, AG4, in a statement made available to journalists, urged residents of the Southeast to disregard the order. He added that IPOB had long denounced all sit-at-home orders and has no connection whatsoever with the purported directive. The Ondo State Police commanders arrested 6 suspects and rescued 14 victims in 2 separate cases of transnational human trafficking in the state. The spokesperson of the command, DSP Abayomi Jimo, disclosed this in a statement issued today. According to the statement, on January 22, 2026, a Togolese national identified as Mele Yaoli reported at the Yaba police station in Ondo State that he was lured from Togo to Nigeria under the pretext of securing employment in Canada. Police said Yaoli revealed that he was deceived by one Chordia Potolo Fidel, who claimed to be residing in Canada but now at large. It stated that upon his arrival in Nigeria in 2019, his personal belongings were forcefully seized and he was held against his will after paying the sum of 800,000 francs. DSP Jimo, however, disclosed that the police swung into action, arrested 6 suspects and in connection with the incident and rescued 3 victims. The national president of the Omo Ibile Igbomino, Sir B.C. Fakayode, has called on indigenes of Igbomino extraction across Kwara State to embrace full compliance as a civic duty regardless of social or entrepreneurial status. He made the call when members of the association's National Executive Council paid a courtesy visit to Kwara State Internal Revenue Service, KWIRS, as part of efforts to strengthen collaboration with government institutions. Safakayode commended KWIRS for its developmental interventions in Igbomino communities, particularly the provision of solar-powered boreholes, which he described as impactful and worthy of commendation. He noted that sustained tax compliance remains critical to enable the government to deliver more people-oriented projects across the state. And lastly, on the local scene, the Court of Appeal sitting in Ilorin, Kwara State on Friday upheld the death sentences imposed on 5 men convicted over the 2018 Offa bank robbery, dismissing their appeals as lacking merit. The Kwara State Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Mohammed Akonde, who witnessed the proceedings, told journalists that the 3 appeal court judges unanimously agreed on the judgment and affirmed the verdict of the High Court condemning the 5 persons to death by hanging. Another official of the court also added that the appellate court rejected all grounds of appeal filed by the convicts and ordered their immediate return to prison custody. The news is reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. We now go on a break, and when we return, we bring you foreign news where Guinea-Bissau's opposition leader released from jail after months behind bars. Please stay with us.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
And you're welcome back from the break. You're still listening to the news on the hour, reaching you from Diamond 88.7 FM Ilorin. We now move on to the foreign scene. Guinea-Bissau's opposition leader, Domingos Simões Pereira, was on Friday released from jail after spending months behind bars. Pereira was one of several senior politicians imprisoned by the military after seizing power in November, overthrowing President Umaru Sissoco Embalo just days after presidential elections. Pereira was, however, accompanied to his home on the outskirts of the capital, Bissau, by security forces, and the visiting Senegalese Defense Minister, General Birame Diop, retired. Still on the foreign scene, Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez has proposed an amnesty law that would cover political prisoners detained during the regime of Hugo Chavez and Nicolas Maduro. The measure excludes cases of murder, drug trafficking, and human rights violations. The Venezuelan leader presented the initiative on Friday during the opening ceremony of the judicial year at the Supreme Court. She instructed the Judicial Revolution Commission to prepare the legal text for a vote in the National Assembly. According to Rodriguez, the law would not include those convicted of murder, drug trafficking, or human rights violation, urging those who regained freedom not to allow vengeance, revenge, and hatred prevail. And that's it on the foreign scene. We now move on to our sports story. The Nigerian Premier Football League (NPFL) has ordered Shooting Stars Football Club to vacate the Lekan Salami Stadium at Damasigba, Ibadan. The NPFL took the decision following the deteriorating condition of the playing surface at the stadium ground. It further said the stadium no longer meets the required standard for top-flight league matches, raising concerns over player safety and match quality. The NPFL has therefore directed Shooting Stars to pick a new venue for their home games before Monday, 2nd February, proposing two venues, Moshood Abiola Sports Arena, Abeokuta, and Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Onikan, Lagos. Similarly, Niger Tornadoes have also been advised by the league authorities to choose between Ilorin and Jos as alternative venues for their home matches amid ongoing assessments of approved NPFL stadiums. And with that story, we've come to the end of News on the Hour. But before we go, here is the recap of the major highlights. Tax returns. Oyedele urges Nigerians to meet January 31, March 31 deadlines. IPOB lawyer Ejiofor urges Southeasterners to ignore February 2nd lockdown order. Police crackdown on illegal transnational human trafficking syndicate, rescue 14 victims in Ondo. Court of Appeal upholds death sentence on 5 of a bank robbery convicts. On the foreign scene, Guinea-Bissau's opposition leader released from jail after months behind bars. And in sports news, NPFL banishes Shooting Stars from Ibadan over poor playing surface. And before we go, did you know that on this day in 1950, U.S. President Harry Truman publicly announced support for the development of a hydrogen bomb? Now you know. For news coverage or information about happenings around you, kindly contact Diamond FM newsroom number on 0916 062 7526. On behalf of the production crew, I am Nedu Okorie. Thank you for listening to your Shining Supreme station, and stand by for the news on the hour in Yoruba language. A very good afternoon to you.